Thank you so much for staying with us, everyone. It's been a major issue for the reasons why the president visited the Southeast region. We saw today when he inaugurated some projects being done by the Ebonyi state government now that the president has unveiled. It's interesting also that Ebonyi is a state controlled by a PDP government. Yep, that's it. Dave Umahi, that's the governor there, receiving an APC president, well, president of Nigeria, but of the APC political party there. Now, let's get a thought of the president's spokesperson on the plans of the president in the Southeast tour. Thank you so much, Mr. Femi Adesina, for joining us on the program tonight. What does this tour mean for the presidency? This is a rare one, isn't it?
Well, a president of a country is at liberty to visit any part of that country, because before he emerged as president in the first place, he must have been voted for by a larger section of the country. The person who is able to build a larger coalition and gets a larger number of votes become president. So you don't have to find a reason for that president visiting any part of the country.
The reason I'm asking this question is, of course, we know that's #1 citizen of the country, but he's not been visiting that region. A lot of people believe, politically speaking, he should be, and that's a region where out of the 5 states, is only one of those states politically that is on the APC, that is run by the APC, the party at the center. So it means a lot politically, of course, and that's a party, that's a region where the president did not receive support in the 2015 general election. So it's a big issue when the president is going into that region. What exactly are his thoughts and his plan? Are some of these plans political in nature, perhaps ahead of 2019?
No, if some people are imputing such motives to the visit, well, they have a right to their thoughts. But as far as the president is concerned, this is a state in the country. He has been invited to come and commission projects and pay and come on his state visit, and he has accepted. The fact that it's even a PDP-controlled state says a lot, that the president sees the entire country as the territory he has been voted for to preside upon.
That's a region also where there are a lot of criticism that the president has marginalized that people from that region in terms of appointments and focus of his government in that region. When you were preparing the president for this tour, what are your focus and what are your agenda in when the president is planning this trip?
Talking about appointments from the region. If you were here today in the places where the president has been received, that is not the general opinion. What they have been asking for is just more. It is not as if we have not got anything. They say, thank you for the ones we have got, but we want more. And if you ask people from any part of the country, it will be the same request, it will be the same sentiment. Thank you for what you have given us, but we want more. So it is not only one region of the country that has issues about being underappointed or underrepresented in government. Almost every region can lay claim to that. So what we have seen here largely today is that the zone is grateful, is happy. Mr. President has got 2 chief presidency titles today. 2 chief presidency titles in Ebonyi today. So it shows that the animus that people think exists in this part of the country is just an imaginary thing. Since the time he landed in Enugu Airport, you needed to see the applause he has been receiving. Everywhere the president has been today, he has been cheered. When he entered the Abakaliki temporary stadium, you needed to see the crowd and the applause that they gave him. So it is so easy to stay in one part of the country and then begin to think that one section of the country is now with the president. It's not true.
Thank you so much, Mr. Femi Additional, for your thoughts on the program today. We also know that the president will be visiting Anambra State, also in the Southeast region. But we take a moment on the program. When we come back, we dig deeper into these issues and, of course, security and the electoral process in Anambra State ahead of the election. Don't go anywhere, everyone. We'll be right back.
So let me understand your point. Are you saying that any party can come up with whatever candidate they want, whichever way they want, irrespective of the laws, and they get away with it?
As long as the primary is conducted.
Listen, when a political party looks at the law very well and decides to do what you said, they'll get away with it. It is only when, in their recklessness, God decides to arrest them, that they make certain mistakes, that court will now be able to find a loophole. Outside it, the powers of political party to select candidates is so awesome that you cannot even challenge it. When you challenge it, you're starting from a major disadvantage.
Is that what your party relied on?
In doing what?
In getting its candidate for these elections?
I didn't work in the party hierarchy when they were doing that. But as far as I'm concerned, our party did what is correct and right and got our candidates. The candidates who felt aggrieved.
Even though you didn't work you say you didn't work in the party hierarchy to know what happened.
Because whatever happened, as far as the primary is concerned, happened before all of us. I don't need to be inside the Wadata Plaza to see what was going on. But what happened in Oka, they came down. All of us participated, whichever way, to get the chairman ad hoc delegates. The list was published.
Okay. So what about now that you've said that you've confirmed that it's their own cup of tea for those that are aggrieved in the process? Does that seem to suggest that your party is not even one going into this election?
That is why I'm telling you that those ones who will constitute problem have quietly and by the special grace of God has gone out.
You sack them from the party?
We will sack them. They sack themselves. We are not interested in sacking anybody. But the fact is that when you are a fifth columnist in an army, you are a very dangerous fellow. So the way we are going now, because God has decided to rescue PDP by giving us a good candidate and a very good machinery, God has also decided to weed out those who constitute nuisance. Because some of these characters will be, we have a big man in this local government where we'll go there and trust to into his hand. On the day of the election, he will sit in his house and be sipping champagne. And they tell them, let's go mind it.
Still speaking about emergence of party candidates for the forthcoming elections, let's listen to part of the comments which you were asking what INEC said at some point. Let's let you listen to this one now and get your response.
37 political parties are contesting in the Anambra election, which is a record. It's a record for any governorship election in the history of this country. 37. They all conducted their primaries. We monitored the primaries, but I also wish to draw the attention of civil society to the action of two political parties. I wouldn't mention the names here. I mentioned it when we met with the political parties about 2 weeks ago. We monitor the party primaries. We know those who emerged as candidates from the primaries. But somehow, somewhere between Oka and Abuja, two parties substituted the candidates. The names that they finally submitted to the commission are not the names of candidates that emerged from the party primaries which we monitored. Again, the Electoral Act says that if that is done, INEC has no power to disqualify any candidate nominated by his or her party. But 35 political parties are in compliance. What transpired at the primaries is what was actually transmitted to INEC. But two political parties changed the candidates. Those who emerged from the primaries are actually not the candidates whose names were eventually submitted to INEC. But we said that if any of these candidates wins or the matter is challenged in court, we'll go to the court and present the true record of what transpired at the primaries for the court to determine what to do. We will never defend what we cannot defend.
Very clear unambiguous statement. If there are political parties who did what he said, because our own, it's impossible for what happened in PDP to have been otherwise.
Impossible?
Impossible. Because on the live television, votes were counted. Obaze, Oba, Obiobolu. At the end of the day, the agents of these three candidates who eventually contested the primary were present. And these votes were collated and counted. And the result announced right there inside the Women's Center. How can anybody now, where would they go? For instance, they will now say...
Was INEC part of the monitoring? Was INEC part of the monitoring?
They were present there, right inside the hall.
Because this may put you and your party and your candidate in some kind of skirmish at the end if he becomes becomes governor and will be waiting for the tribunal at some point.
You see, the issue is that this is not PDP is not one of the two political parties, because the PDP process was too open and transparent. It is those people who did their primaries behind the back, who didn't even have anything. People don't even know when the primaries were done.
Who are they?
The other political parties, there were so many of them. I come here, you asked me to remove my scarf and want me to advertise another political party. Chamberlain, you are not serious.
Did I ask you to advertise another political party?
Yes, now you're asking me who are the political parties. Why do I mention their names?
Nobody asked you to advertise.
Nobody's asking you to advertise.
No, you can't advertise another political party.
Thank you very much.
That's not the point you're trying to make. But you know, your candidate.
Yes.
Why not a younger, the Anambra voters there, about 2.2 million, you have over 40% of them are young people.
Yes.
Why not a younger candidate? What makes you think that the people will vote your candidate?
My candidate is as young as they come.
As young as they come?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Because when we talk about age, it's all about numbers. Anybody, there is nobody in Anambra State contesting this election, the governorship candidate, who is below 45. Not one. And at that age, anybody is old. Name them. From beginning to end, all of them are within the age bracket that go to check their blood pressure, like me. So it's not a matter of choosing. If we are talking about the definition, the core definition of youth, which is between the age of 18 and 35, yes, maybe in the oncoming years, we will try to see what we will do about that. But as at today, Anambra is a very sophisticated and complex state that needs people with a lot of experience and wisdom to manage. And when you say 40% are youth, 60% will now be older people, isn't it? Therefore, if you're talking about demographics, politics is all about number. So you look for where the larger numbers are located. That is speaking, talking
actually,
about
over 40% are students.
So
the younger population at that.
The younger population is there. And you see, we come from a system, particularly in our place, where there is a lot of room for growth and mentoring. People just don't jump in my place.
So that will be the message you tell to those who ask you in Anambra, why not a younger candidate?
Precisely, I'll tell them, you wait for your turn. You come in there, you grow up. If he becomes governor now, what will he be tomorrow?
Ever since the invasion, we've not communicated with him. Of course, I remember very well, he was the very last person in the house, when the invasion took place. And what we know that happened is that either he was killed and taken away by the military, or that he's been kept somewhere by some people. Obviously, somebody authorized the invasion of the house, which is Dan Mansali, which is the defense minister. Of course, he made that clear to the whole world, even when they denied, the invasion. So they are in a far more better position to tell us what happened to Nnamdi Kanu. Up until today, we've not seen them, so we want them to produce him dead or alive.
So you are 100% sure that he is with the military?
Of course, Nnamdi Kanu was in the house when they invaded the house, so it could have been that he's been killed, or they took him away somewhere. But up until today, we've not communicated with him. He has not spoken to anyone, and we're still making reasonable effort to communicate with him.
What will happen if the federal government will fail to produce your brother?
Then again, it's entirely up to the leadership of IPOB to take the rightful decision sort of when due. So.
But you're part of the leadership now.
No, I am not.
Your advice?
Advice to who, please? the thing is that...
It's your brother, it's also a family matter. So what do you think should be done if the government fails to produce?
Of course, there are laws in place. Of course, we'll pursue those lines and make sure that something legal is done until Nnamdi Kanu is produced dead or alive.
Apart from the legal issues, how do you feel personally at the moment? It's your brother, and your brother is missing. Nobody knows if he's dead or alive. How does it make you feel emotionally?
Well, of course it hurts. He is my senior brother, of course. It hurts so much, and he's my eldest brother. So for the fact that I've not spoken to him hurts. You know, so, and doesn't mean I will relent, of course. The struggle is there. Come rain, come high water, it will be achieved. There was no order to arrest Nnamdi Kanu. The army invaded the house, killed people, and things like that. They won't keep on happening all the time. For how long do you want to keep on killing us? For what have we done wrong? We've never carried arms. We've never killed anyone. We never asked anyone to kill for us. So why killing us? What we are doing is agitation. Telling you we are done with the system. The system is against us. And what Nnamdi Kanu is doing is attacking conditions and policies. Nnamdi Kanu is not against anyone. He's not against any human being. So why have they come to kill him? Why have they taken him away? That's the questions we're asking.
So you say the aggression is only coming from one side, from the side of the federal government?
Of course, that's where it's coming from, because they don't want to dialogue, they don't want to sit down and find out what the problem is. So they think they can use the federal might, you know, to kill us, you know, to destroy us, to inflict pain on us, and believing that will work. No, we're not afraid of that. We will remain strong before our enemies and do whatever we can within the law to realize Biafra. Nobody can, it's an ideology, you can't stop it. You can't take it away from us. That's who I am. I will live and die as a Biafran. They should understand that.